I came to the bank to close my account, but the bank manager suddenly turned pale and asked, "Sir, have you checked the balance in your account today?" I frowned. What balance? There shouldn't be anything in there. He slowly turned his monitor toward me. The number on the screen made my heart stop. $41 million. $41 million. Just a few hours earlier, I had been thrown out of my own house with a single suitcase. My name is Daniel. I'm 35 years old, and my wife left me for my younger brother. Before I continue, let me know where you're watching from. And if you've ever been betrayed by someone you trusted, don't forget to like and subscribe. Now let me tell you how the worst day of my life became the day everything changed. The suitcase in my hand wasn't heavy. What made it heavy were the memories inside my head. I stood in the living room of the house I had spent 7 years helping build. Across from me stood my wife, Jessica. Beside her stood my younger brother, Ryan. His arm was wrapped around her waist. Neither of them looked ashamed. In fact, they looked proud. My father sat comfortably in his favorite chair. My mother stood beside him with her arms crossed. The entire family had already chosen a side, and it wasn't mine. "Sign the papers, Daniel," my father said coldly. The divorce documents sat on the coffee table. Jessica smiled. Ryan smirked. I felt sick. "You've wasted enough of Jessica's life already," my mother added. "Ryan can give her the future she deserves." The words hit harder than any punch. My own family was supporting this. Not only had my wife betrayed me, my brother had betrayed me. My parents were helping them do it. For years, I had worked on a software platform designed to help disabled users interact with websites more easily. I believed in the project. I spent nights coding, weekends coding, holidays coding. Jessica constantly complained that I spent too much time working. Ryan mocked me every chance he got. My father called it a waste of time. My mother said I should get a real job. Eventually, I launched the software. Nobody seemed interested. At least that's what I was told. The project appeared to fail. I believed it. And over time, I began believing I was a failure too. That afternoon, they threw me out. No car, no house, no savings. Jessica had already transferred most of our joint money. Ryan moved into the master bedroom before I even left the property. I walked away with one suitcase and less than $1,000. As I sat in a rideshare, I kept asking myself the same question. How had my life collapsed so quickly? I didn't know that things were about to get even stranger. I headed to the bank. Years ago, I had opened a small business account for my software company. The account had been inactive for a long time. I wanted to close it. Clean break, fresh start, nothing more. At least that was the plan. The branch manager looked up my account. Then his face changed. He checked the screen again, then again, and again. Finally, he looked at me. "Mr. Daniel, are you expecting a very large wire transfer?" "No." His hands were shaking. "Then I think you'd better see this." That's when he turned the monitor around. $41 million. I thought it was a mistake, a glitch, a banking error. There was no way that money belonged to me. The manager called corporate support. After verifying my identity, they explained everything. And what I heard next changed my life forever. The software I created had never failed. Someone had stolen it. Someone had secretly licensed it to a major technology company. Someone had been collecting royalties for years. That someone was Ryan, my own brother. While I believed my software was worthless, Ryan had secretly created a company using forged documents, using my code, using fake signatures. He had convinced one of the largest technology corporations in the country that he owned the intellectual property. For 4 years, he collected millions, while I struggled to pay bills, while Jessica mocked my failed dream. While my parents called me a disappointment, they all knew, every single one of them knew. The corporation eventually decided to purchase the software outright. The deal was worth over $40 million. But during their legal review, lawyers discovered something strange. The ownership documents were forged. The signatures were fake. Ryan never legally owned the software. I did. So instead of paying him, they paid me directly. Everything suddenly made sense. The divorce, the timing, the betrayal. Ryan and Jessica thought they were about to become incredibly wealthy. They thought the money was arriving in Ryan's account. That was why they threw me away. They believed they had already won. They had no idea the money was sitting in my account. Within hours, I hired one of the best attorneys in the city. She moved the funds into protected accounts, created legal barriers, prepared lawsuits, and most importantly, she told me to stay silent, let them celebrate, let them spend, let them think they won, because the truth was coming. And when it arrived, it would destroy everything. Over the next few weeks, Ryan acted like a millionaire. He financed luxury cars, bought expensive watches, placed deposits on a mansion. Jessica posted photos online every day. Designer handbags, luxury vacations, champagne dinners. My parents proudly showed off their new lifestyle, all funded by money they didn't actually have. Money they believed was coming. Money that would never arrive. Then the phone calls started. Lenders wanted payments. Banks wanted answers. The technology companies stopped responding. Ryan panicked. Jessica panicked. My parents panicked. The illusion began to crack. And then it completely shattered. One morning, Ryan finally learned the truth. The acquisition money had been paid. Not to him. To me. His world collapsed instantly. The loans, the debts, the legal violations, the fraud investigation, everything hit at once. For the first time in years, he was afraid. A few days later, he found me outside my new office. He dropped to his knees, right there on the sidewalk, begging, crying, apologizing, blaming Jessica, blaming stress, blaming everyone except himself. He wanted forgiveness, but what he really wanted was money. I knew it. And he knew I knew it. I listened quietly, then handed him a legal folder. He looked confused. "What's this?" I smiled. "You've been served." The color disappeared from his face. Inside were lawsuits, fraud claims, intellectual property theft claims, financial restitution demands, everything. Years of lies finally catching up with him. For the first time, Ryan understood something. The person he underestimated wasn't weak. The quiet guy working late nights wasn't a failure. The dream everyone mocked wasn't worthless. The brother they laughed at had built something extraordinary. And now they were going to lose everything trying to steal it. I walked away without looking back. Some people think revenge is yelling. Some think revenge is humiliation. They're wrong. The best revenge is success. The best revenge is building a life so good that the people who betrayed you become nothing more than a distant memory. And that's exactly what I did.